Okay. There we go. Third tries the charm, hopefully. Okay. Gotta love technology. So let's go back and fix a couple of these spots. I think I had this a little bit higher. Right here. If my computer locks up again, I might just call the stream for the night and then try to diagnose what's been causing that, because, like I said, it's happened a couple times over the last week or two. So there's something amiss that I need to figure out what's going on, because it's getting annoying. Did I already fix over there? Yes. So I had saved some of this stuff. Alright, so save that. We'll go back over here. And I was going to do some just kind of, oh my gosh, work. Let's do this like 4. Just joins. Looks like you went live a few minutes ago, then restarted. Yeah, so I went live like just after 8, so maybe like just under 30 minutes ago, and then probably 15-20 minutes into that, my computer like just locked up on me, which it's not the first time it's done that in the last couple weeks, so I'm wondering if there's something going on that I need to diagnose. So if I lock up again, I may just call the stream for the night and try to figure out what the heck's going on with my computer. But besides that, when I tried to restart the stream, the initial or the second attempt's connection speed was basically listed as terrible. So I was like, well, why don't I just attempt to restart this alright before I get going into anything? And nobody else was in the stream yet, so, or back in the stream yet. So I figured I may as well just restart it and hope for the best. And now I've had excellent connection, so. Been a fun night with technology so far. How you doing, BDC Retro? So right now I'm just kind of making a real generic rock shape that I can attempt to throw around in here. Trying to keep it blocky but not blocky at the same time. Little nub sticking out. Okay. Smoothing. There we go. And all my windows that I had off set up are no longer nicely set up. See if I can group these ones. Cool. That looks fairly good. Okay. Just to try to remember to save more often today. Between my computer locking up and the computer, or not the computer, but Unity crashing on me earlier this morning. It's just been one of those days where me and technology aren't getting along. So maybe we could do a well out here too. Let's grab a shape. We'll make it 2 by 2. We'll make it split-sided. 2-5. 2-5. Something closer to that. A bit too wide, actually. Yeah, that was the right number. Oops. Delete that one. And then let's go for wood. Oops, that was not what I wanted to do. There we go. I don't think there's a way for me to snap it quite like I'd like to. I'll have to do it this way. I'll just bring it back up. And then, come on. Sometimes the selection in this leaves something to be desired. Okay. And then we'll bring these in a pinch. And then grab that edge loop. And snap it up, and not that high though. And then let's grab these and bring them back into the ground, like so. Cool. Grab these. Well, and come on. These would be, whoops, That's good. These will be kind of over by. This portion of the wall. I do want some more somewhere here as well. Hey Keith, how's it going? Going pretty good, minus some technical issues earlier, to start the stream, but hopefully those will no longer be an issue. How are you doing tonight? Not bad. Good to hear. Let's do a height of 1. And yeah, that'll be fine. Should have this on 25 snap. Make my life easier. Oops. Nope. Did I do it right? Oh, come on. Oh, yeah, I did. All right. greenery over here as well. Although maybe and then I think I want to add in a larger piece here. 3 by 1. Whoops, my keyboard is sticking. Throw that on there for now. Let's see. Any editor tools you wish you had that would make your life easier? Yeah, there are some things. You know, like Unreal's lighting would be great. Also, their BSP lets you do negative, like, cuts, so you can like punch holes through stuff essentially real easily. Like, that would be awesome to have in Pro Builder, to be able to do subtractive brushes as opposed to all additive. Yeah, definitely. Honestly, though, it would be more beneficial for like walls and stuff like that. Things you want to punch holes through completely, doorways and stuff like that. Because then you just have to worry about walls and then just sticking stuff where, like, the negative brush that you built for your doors, and you can just reuse it over and over and over and over again. Dungeons are pretty easy. It's just, I just extrude. Start with a cube, basically. Invert the normals, so you're inside as opposed to being outside, and then just kind of extrude paths out from there, and then break it up as I go into smaller sections. So let me save this real quick. global. Oops, that was not what I wanted to put on here. Those, and these will all be grouped. Oh, my eyes. I was listening to one of the EQ interviews about the editor they used in the beginning. No copy paste. Yeah, I vaguely remember hearing that as well, which would have been not fun. It also like if you go into the actual files. For the zones, some of the zones are pretty, like, if you actually go and look at the actual geo, it's pretty janky. But it makes a lot of sense when you hear about the limitations that they were working in. Did I not? Apparently I did not. I said, why is that not the same texture? Because I didn't assign it as the same texture. They had to be fueled by the first 30 MMO Unstoppable developers. Cyber Idila PC Repairs. How's it going? Welcome to chat. How are you doing this evening? Actually, I just want to use the old cliff that I have, as opposed to trying to do this with Pro Builder. It's not terrible. I wish I could do a better sewing job on this. Let's just spread some more of these bouldery type rocks around. Play a bit with scale and kind of maneuver them around to make little more unique outcroppings of rocks. What I need to just do is make a bunch of rocks in Maya that have better UVs and bring those in and replace these at some point. But in the meantime, just trying to get this to look a little bit more fleshed out. Where's the mountain I'll climb and inevitably leap to my death from? I don't know if we fixed it or not. One of these you used to be able to do that. Although you didn't die, but you were able to get out. It was one of these. Was it this one? It might have been this one. I don't think that's that's not the most updated version of that. But you were able to get way, way further up it than I anticipated the player was going to be able to. It was funny. It was like you were able to. It was like basically like we had climbing in the game, but we didn't. It was just you were able, like the angle on the controller at that point was very, very high. Or the slope angle. That's what I was looking. That was what I was looking for. Oh, yeah. That's getting distorted. Let's bring that back a inch. Cool. Although I've changed these to being much thinner. Whoop. I keep doing that. Okay, 2. Where do I not? There it is. Like, why am I not seeing my widget? Apparently, I was no longer in that mode. And I think this is just not going to make it all the way up to that wall. I think it's gonna be broken up before then. Do you have any criteria you're working from today, or are you mainly going freeform? Right now, it's a lot of freeform. Just kind of playing around with stuff. So some of it will work, some of it won't. Some of it might be, you know, expanded upon, that type of thing. We do know that we want the walls here. And we want them broken up. But I'm just trying to make it look a little bit more, like, have some more visual stuff going on. Some kind of landmarks inside the newbie yard. So, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And like I said, some of the stuff could get adjusted later. But so I have some idea, but a lot of it's freeform. Oops, and apparently YouTube doesn't think I'm listening. Yes, I'm still listening. Expanding that one wall out into the ocean would look pretty cool. Creating a mini harbor on the South Beach. There very well might at some point be some stuff like that kind of along the edges. I haven't gotten to it yet. There's been concepts for ruins kind of near the coast and along the river line. So eventually those will get there. At least that's the idea. Oops, I probably should not have broken that one up yet. So right now I'm just kind of real quickly breaking the wall up. But this is by no means exactly how it might end up being broken. Again, very rough at the moment. careful. I don't want to double clicking on the terrain can be bad. Coastline, that's a cool idea. Coastline might have higher level mobs. I don't know what the plans for population are currently for the coastline. Originally, sorry, my lips are getting chapped. Originally, they were like the alligators and stuff. So I'm assuming probably still be gator or crocodiles. But I'm not sure if that has changed or not. But they were still, you know, lower level, but they weren't like the first thing you'd want to go run up and try to smack with your sword. Unless you want to get killed by a murder log. This Newbie Yard is still, like, gigantic. Let's see. I'll be looking forward to running over that wall. It'll need to be huge for the POC. Early stress testing will be interesting. Yes. I'm sure our first, like, actual stress test of the servers and stuff like that will definitely be fun. So we'll have to see how everything holds up when we get to that point. But it's one of those things you gotta do it to see where you're at, see what needs to be fixed. It'll also be interesting to kind of watch and see how everyone, like, gravitates toward different areas, or like where camps naturally form and stuff like that. Any thoughts about ruins that are older, may have more rounding wear due to sandstorms? Yeah, so I have been wearing these ones down. Granted, this is a first pass, so it's still super blocky. But I have been trying to, like, take the points off of these ones that are kind of more foundational, like they've really been worn down. You know, this obviously the UVs need to be fixed, but some of those granted, this is probably not the same material we'll end up using, but like some of these kind of worn out areas will either be, you know, smoother or like broken up, kind of cracked rock, stone type material as well. So yeah, definitely want to play around with some of that stuff as well. Bet you're excited. Oh yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how some of that stuff plays out. Because I know like we want to expand Worm's Bane and stuff like that too. So I debated doing that tonight, but I wanted to do something that was a little faster and less of me having to jump back and forth between different things. But I'm sure that will be something I'll be doing soon, playing around in there, expanding, or giving some areas to expand upon. Essentially adding more areas, might have a little bit more organic themes and stuff like that, potentially. And then going into, again, more kind of structural type stuff. It's really looking awesome so far. I bet players are going to be super excited to run around in there. Oh, I'm hoping so. I enjoy running around in there already. It'll be nice once it's all like completely flushed out with you know, any quests or like specific loot and stuff like that, like rare loot. It will be pretty cool. Oh man, like no energy tonight. I don't know why. I think there should be. Some more trees in this area. Whew. So you guys up to anything this week? Other than just the normal work schedule type stuff? Because I do not have really anything going on. At least currently. Expect the local. You and Goblin had different takes on the Worm's Bane entrance. Any decisions made yet on whose concept to go with. Are you talking about the kind of dragon head? Well, initially I had done that kind of just like blocked out one that was really rough. So we keep having some back and forth on like what we want to do with it. Like, there's been the idea of, you know, obviously keeping it more. I need to grab the texture from Goblin so we can actually throw this in here. To have this one be a skull, or be more skull-like. This one be more of a full dragon head. We've talked about that. We've talked about potentially making this just kind of, again, back to the kind of flat area and not have the skull there. So, yeah, we're just kind of going back and forth. We need to actually bring in the texture and see if we want to use that here or not. Yeah, the dragon head. I have to say, I liked your idea of the blue tinting, as it fits the inhabitants better. I think the test had the dragon's throat stick out more, with the orange and red interior. Oh yeah, Goblin did something that I almost did. So when I did this, I was like, okay, we'll try to have those kind of ribbed looks. Being more texture based, and then he just added the couple edge loops in there to do. I almost did that, and actually I liked the way it looked modeled without having the. I mean, obviously there's texture that is also playing with it, but I like just the little bit of a silhouette that it plays around with in the ground on the edits that he did. I think he also flattened the nose out, which actually I have a flatter version of. I have a version of this that's been, the teeth have been dropped down a little bit, and I took off these kind of points on the nose that kind of gave the flare on the sides like this. One, because they're just so sharp, and kind of going back to that sand and erosion, I was like, ooh. You know, maybe over the years those would have gotten worn down. But yeah, so there's been a couple edits to it, and then, like I said, Goblin did a couple edits. I think he flattened the nose out a little bit and added in those that like throat ribbing, I guess you could call it. But I really liked that ribbing being in the model, so. It's going to be one of those things we'll probably play around with a little bit, and then see what we want to do. Because, again, we've talked about maybe, you know, not using the dragon head there, and then we've talked about using the dragon head there, and kind of having that as a theme with some of the Wormsbane architecture. Some of those super detailed textures he had looked awesome. Maybe for the same type of entrance on the high level zone with the huge dragon mouth. Kunark had some cool stuff like that in Sky Shrine. Yeah. We're definitely, like I said, we're definitely playing around with it. And to go, whoop, I was not grabbing on what I thought I was grabbing onto. The reason I did the blue was just to kind of go with that theme of the kind of like spectral blue that we've been using for like the kind of undead area. Technically, though, the orange like makes more sense because the blue area is so far down in the tomb, where the top part is lit by like archaeologists' torches. It technically is more like zone linking accurate, but at the same time I kind of like the blue. Again, kind of keeping it thematic. And we've also, you know, gone with the, it doesn't always have to be like perfect in terms of like what lines up. Sometimes we can do the just the thing that looks cooler or draws you in a little bit more. For instance, you know, a big example of that is the chain here, because I you know, most of those chains like Byzantium and stuff like that that had giant chains, the chains were underwater and then they would pull them taut like to seal off the harbors. It just looks more, I thought it looked more visually impressive to have it like up above. So if you're, you know, riding in on a boat or something like that, like having a giant chain above your head, I just thought was a cooler visual, as opposed to, you know, there's a chain underwater. So, and, you know, historically, it not accurate, you know, but, you know, pretty cool visual. So we've already kind of agreed that we like, we aren't afraid to necessarily break historic accuracy. Yeah, not, you know, we're in a fantasy world, so, or a fantasy setting, so I don't think it's too out of it. But, you know, like green lights and blue lights and crazy different color lighting, like in Fallen Watch. So we are not afraid to kind of play with some of that stuff. Alright, let's take a look. Let's run around a little bit, see how this is starting to feel. I'm also going to bake the nav mesh real quick. Although I do not think it won't actually affect their pathing because the server needs to be rebuilt, I believe. So let's take a couple seconds. It's actually a lot faster, I think. Oh, excuse me. On my last stream, someone had been asking on Sean's stream how long it took. Oh, that one built really quick. I think it took like 30 seconds on my stream. But when I'm off stream and not using my CPU and stuff for streaming, it takes like 10 seconds to build, if that. On this computer, my laptop takes a while. Oh, not a while, but it takes longer, like noticeably longer. But still under a minute. I wonder why they do that. Why they're all spawning like at the same time in the same spot. I'm guessing it's just because I was like the zone spawn because I popped into it, but I do not know. So yeah, these are feeling a little bit better. So earlier in the stream, some of these like foundations, I just wanted like a couple spots here to break up lines of sight. A bit. Cool. Alright, let's run over here. feel like over here needs something. Rock or a rune wall or something like that. This is starting to feel more like the density that I probably want. Oh, dead Nick. It's a fairly common sight when you're running around testing. Nick's got corpses everywhere. Cool. I don't like how much that's broken up. I've also, over the weekend, added this to the other zones that you could see it in. So, it's now in Shaded Dunes. It's now... Well, the old one's still in Shaded Dunes, so technically there's like a couple extra towers sticking up through it, but... It's because we haven't deleted all the old Shaded Dunes geo yet. And to do that isn't as easy because it's in a blend file, so you got to go through all of it. So when we're finally like done with it, I can just hit delete and basically nuke the old geo. But then Vale of Zintar, you can also see it from. Cool. So this is starting to get more of that, like I said, that density that I'm kind of going for. Or I don't want it to be super dense, but I want it to have some stuff going on that's not just like flat desert. Cool. Yeah, I'm starting to like that. Let's run back up here. I want to check those adjustments I made too. Yeah, that's kind of more what I wanted. Ooh. Need to fix that. These heights are up. I forgot to turn off aggro. Oh, I'm probably gonna die. What level is this? Oh no, I can beat it. What you got? Raw jackal meat. Ooh, that one's gonna kill me. That one's gonna be a higher level than me for sure. Let's do the monk thing. I'm so bad when I play monks. I almost... I don't always forget, but sometimes I forget that I can feign death. Alright, Ashira Scout. Scout away. Cool. Alright, so... Need some more rocks in that area. I haven't decided if I actually want to do this ruined tower in here, or if I want this to be something that's more out in shaded dunes. And then let's check over in this area. Got them tighties in those boots. Yeah, I have a very not clothed monk running around. He looks like he's like a member of the village people or something. Oh, that skeleton's punching me in the face. But I think it's because the only thing I summoned were my boots of speed, so I could run around faster. Come on, Mr. Skeleton. Oh! What? I don't get a graphic for my pants? I'm wearing pants now. But apparently they don't have a graphic for them. Or that, or it broke. One of the two. Make sure to put the shady merchant close by that rips everyone off. I feel like I could do some more rock stuff over here. Although this was my at one point my kiting area for the Newbie Yard, but it has changed for sure. Wait, with cloth, will cloth have a graphic, or that could very well be that it's just because it's cloth it doesn't have a graphic. I honestly, I thought it did. It could have broken. All right, let me pop out of here. This game sucks. What am I doing? Trying to focus. That's what I'm doing. All right. Let's play with some more rocks. Because moving rocks around makes an exciting stream. See, what I should do is go down into the metro parks and just move rocks around and stream that and see how interested everyone is in that. Stack rocks. Makes it pants for us using Pro Builder. I mean, I could. They wouldn't necessarily be great looking pants, but I did do a robe in Pro Builder. Oh, come on. Oops, if I enter the mode that I wanted to enter. You know it's possible. Unholy but possible. Yes, definitely is possible. Let's go back to there you go. That was not right. Sorry, I'm like zoning into this and then not talking. So I should probably try to talk to you guys a little bit more. Although we are getting close to the end of my stream time. What's Stoic say? I haven't been following as closely as I used to. I know you guys have put a ton of work into Night Harbor and that dungeon full of skeletons. But are there other zones currently being developed? So actively, no, but we have like 12 zones. I did put some stuff in some of them. Over the weekend. But, so we've got Night Harbor Fields, which is, this part. So it's going to be kind of along the river here, and then this is going to be a quarry, and then it's kind of like date farms, so there's going to be a bunch of date trees and stuff like that. And then we have Death Valley, which is a giant zone, and there's going to be lots of giants and stuff in it as well. And then you can see one of our floating citadels above it. Fallen Watch over there. Fallen Watch is a zone. I don't know if we'll keep the same like interior design that we have for it. But if you watch some of the older streams, oops, oh, I forgot Fallen Pass is broken. Fallen Watch, where are you? There you go. Oh my god, where'd it go? If you've seen some of the older streams, it's the dungeon that they were using for a long time. So might get edited a bit, but I replaced all the geo that was here previously, so it's a little bit cleaner than it used to be. And then what else do we got? Shaded Dunes, which you guys have seen. Deep Dunes. Which you guys have seen me play around with on stream. This one will be completely reworked, though, because right now it's just Shaded Dunes Geo kind of duplicated and made into a roof. So we'll have this be more of a kind of caverns and stuff like that. The Fallen Watch zone you just showed us, that was the zone that used to be at the ruins in Old Shitty Dunes. Out. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. That's the entrance was put there. The idea always was Shitty Dunes. That's so that's where we could zone into it. But it was actually representing this place up here. You'd have to go through here and then in through Fallen Pass, which is kind of like in a canyon. For some reason, the geo's broken on it. I noticed over the weekend. So I'm not sure why, but we just have to get it fixed. And then you kind of fight your way up through these canyons, and then zone into Fallen Pass up there. And then, yeah. But yeah, that's the one that we are accessing through here. What else we got? Dragon's Run, which, hold it. Oh, I was just saying, like, why is it missing its terrain? I was looking at Class Flats, which is kind of this more canyony area. It's all just been like roughly blocked out by Sean. But there are, areas in here. It just needs to actually go through and get like, more of a treatment on the, excuse me, the cliffs here, and obviously more camps and stuff like that. Architecture. This is all literally just copied out of the stuff I was doing in Night Harbor. So some of this will need to get, its own architectural like shape language and stuff like that. Okay, wanted to confirm. Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, I wanted to confirm that the mouth under it was Fallen Pass zone. Yep, yeah. So that the old mouth that had been there for a while, that's the Fallen Pass, and then Fallen Pass gets you the Fallen Watch. Yeah. Both that pass and Wormsbane may end up getting Dragon Skull treatment or Dragon Head / Skull treatments. We'll see where we end up landing on that. What else? Glass Flats is the other one. And then Twilight Isles, which is like a tropical island type area, which also for some reason is broken. I'm not sure why. But this one is going to be kind of like Badlands. Like there's going to be a tower up here. There's a crash citadel, so this whole area right here is going to be broken in. These are going to be crystal trees, so we're going to be building trees out of crystals essentially. But yeah, so we have a bunch of this stuff like roughed in and generic ideas. And Ham has drawn maps out for several of these zones as well. We're just investing a lot of time right now on getting Night Harbor done because the idea that we're doing is just very large in terms of scale. So that one is taking a bit of time to do, but really, again, how I kind of looked at it with Night Harbor specifically is, some of these areas are like this is basically a zone. The garrison is essentially a zone. This whole area is almost like a zone. This area is like a zone. So each of these small little spaces are very, very large in terms of how much space they take up. And, you know, the buildings in here, I don't remember the number. I counted them at one point. But I guarantee you it's more than, especially if you had all the, it's more than like Freeport had, like all the old Freeport buildings. So there's a lot of stuff going on in these small like nooks and crannies. So it takes a little bit. Hey John, how's it going? Looks like a shitload of running. Bard speed will be your friend. The places I think that'll be the longest to run, and I haven't timed the running in it, but the Death Valley, which is now Vale Zintar, is going to be a large zone for sure. Gonna need that Bard speed. Yep, beat me to it. Sounds like you're gonna have to OOC donate 10 PP for Sal. Unless my ranger gets that. I mean, I'm pretty sure rangers get our version of Sal. Unless something changed since the last time I went. Looking forward to you guys working on some of the forested areas. That will more than likely come after the proof of concept. So we have like a dozen zones in the proof of concept, which could again get moved around in terms of like which ones we're doing, which ones we aren't. But if you can't see it over here. Dragons run Hannum, I'm pretty sure. Speed of Wild, yes. That would be it. So we got these giant red placeholder dunes. This is actually going to be a zone, and I am completely blanking on the name of it at the moment, but that is kind of our barrier right now. And on the other side of that is where like the more temperate climates are. So I believe we have a cool idea of stuff that we want to do with this zone. But it you know, we're not expanding beyond this currently during the proof of concept phase. So that type of stuff will be coming later. We do have some areas that might have a little bit more stuff going on, like the Twilight Isles and stuff like that. But yeah, actually close to the end of my stream time. But yeah, so that is kind of what the plan is. And then hopefully once we have gotten to that point, we'll be able to scale up the production and kind of pump out more stuff. Outdoor zones and stuff don't take that too long. I mean, you know, I spent probably about a day's worth of time in this whole area. And again, you know, this is fairly large in terms of like how long or how big a newbie yard is. It's really actually pretty big. And then, you know, this type of stuff comes together fairly quickly. And then, you know, you're always going to have tweaks and stuff like that, whether it's scale or deciding you want to put in some points of interest or some areas for camping, that type of thing. So I anticipate, you know, we'll be making adjustments. Oops, I need to delete that. But yeah. Let's see. John says, I may or may not have done Illusion Spirit Wolf with my enchanter, turned on role-playing, and truthfully responded to people that I can't give them Sal. The first guild, was it the first? Yeah, I think it was the first guild I ever joined in EverQuest on Praxis. Well, it was the first guild I ever joined in any game. It was called Rangers of Tanar, and I forget his full character's name, but the guy who led it was Neg something. I don't remember. Anyways, he would just basically sit in POK in wolf form and just like talk to people. That was his thing. You'd always, even after I left that guild to like move on to guilds that had more than just rangers, that were basically, it was like a family friendly guild that was, I think, all rangers, or maybe it was like rangers and like a couple druids, but it was basically just kind of like showing us the ropes, that type of thing. But yeah, that was his thing for years. I would just see him sitting in POK, in wolf form, like talking to people. Yeah, once you guys have all the assets at your disposal, it's just architecture, interior decorating, and yeah, exactly. So yeah, as we build out more and more trees, we get more and more areas, you can start using those things over and over again. Even like wall pieces, stairwells, stuff like that. You can be like, oh, I'm just gonna pop over, grab this, drag it. It just becomes, whenever there's a new thematic spot, you have to start building out all that stuff all over again. But hopefully by then we can also scale a little bit. So, and I don't know, there's a couple other cities that might be on this scale, but I don't think every city is exactly on that scale, but I could be wrong. But I know Night Harbor is one of the larger cities in our world, so and again, it's kind of the one we're testing out a lot of this stuff on. Is it feasible? Is it not? That type of thing. Cool. So it is towards the end of my stream time, guys. I think I'm gonna call it here, as opposed to hopping in and moving something around for a couple seconds. Let me save, make sure I've got everything up to date, and then I'm gonna give you guys all the links and stuff and call the stream. Whispering Dunes, I think was that is at BDC. Whispering Dunes. Thank you. I knew it was something Dunes, and I'm like, what is the word in front of it? But yeah, we have some cool ideas with that. I think it'll be a cool zone once we get to that point and implement it. Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool. That's all I'm going to say. You're not going to get any more out of me. Yeah, so if anybody's new to the project, we are making a indie MMO titled Monsters and Memories. It's focused in the classic kind of first generation MMOs, so EverQuest, Ultima Online, Asheron's Call, Dark Age of Camelot, that era of gaming. And yeah, follow that link. You can find out all sorts of information about us. If you'd like, we have a Discord. We have a fairly active Discord. There's over 1,100 people in there now. I think we're actually coming up on like 1,150-ish. So that's awesome. It's growing pretty fast. But yeah, if you have any questions for us, feel free to hop in there. We're all pretty good at answering questions, whether you're tagging us there. Sometimes people DM me and stuff like that. I always try to respond to that type of stuff. But yeah, we have talk about all sorts of different things, whether it's about our game, gaming in general, other MMOs, tabletop games, and stuff like that. There's always something going on in there. So. But if you'd like to stay up to date with the game and do not want to join the Discord, that is our mailing list. So sign up and you'll get, when we put out updates and stuff like that, you'll get those mailed to you. Also, if you enjoyed my stream, other members of the team stream, throw them all follows. They all have different various parts of the game. I primarily do level design and environment art. But if you're into, characters, Zukin does characters and critters and stuff like that. Sean does a little bit of everything on his streams. He'll show off all of our work. He'll kind of help out. He was the one who blocked out a lot of those additional zones, kind of roughly for us, so we have them so we can, get around to start building content in there. And then after I'm done building out this entire city, can go through and kind of, round off and polish the edges and stuff like that. And then Goblin does concept art, textures, stuff like that. Nick does Q&A and design streams. And then we also, if you'd like to get caught up on our past VODs, we have a YouTube channel. And yeah, we all upload our VODs there, so you can get caught up. Also, if you are watching on YouTube, please remember to like and subscribe, comment below, and all that type of stuff to help us out with the algorithm. It just kind of helps us get the game out there more to more people that are interested in MMOs and stuff like that. So we really appreciate the support. If you are watching on YouTube and you want to partake in the whatchamacallits here, the live chat. There should be somewhere in the description a link to my Twitch stream, which is our Twitch channel, which is Paid as the Ranger. So just click on that. If you click the follow, which Frosty or Frost Howl the Paladin, thank you for your follow. I heard the chime a minute ago. Yeah, just throw a follow to the channel, and you'll get a notification whenever I go live. The streams are generally, at least until my until my classes at work start back up in the fall. Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for hanging out with me. Later, John, and I think I missed something else. Ali needs to do some code streams. Yeah, I think he wants to. I think there was an internet thing that he wanted to upgrade, and then there's also like the coders are more limited to what they can stream, or farming streams. That would actually be kind of cool too. So night, guys. And welcome to chat, Frost Hop. All right, guys. Later.